I wanted to be that.
Okay.
And I was about to start my preparation towards those exams.
Okay.
And that is when I had to make a life-changing decision, Of course, I've taught you in one of the classes, right?
Exactly. Hello everyone, once again, welcome to the International Circle Podcast. I'm your host Kwanele. So in this podcast, we talk about different cultures, different perspectives, different ideas all around the world, across the borders. And today we are venturing into some new grounds as we are highly honored. It's a high great honor for the International Circle Podcast as we are joined with the learned one, the lecturer, the professor himself, Dr. Adam. So it's going to be a very a pleasure to have him as he's going to take us through his experiences and the experience that he faced to become who he is today. So as students often know the lecture through classroom assignments and examinations, but in every educator, there's a story behind which is filled with experiences, challenges, etc., etc. So for those who also want to be doctors, to fulfill their dreams, to reach their destination, this podcast is for you. As we're going to have to learn something from Dr. Adam. Let's get started. And Mr. Adam, thank you for joining us, and it's a great pleasure to have you. So can you just introduce yourself to the viewers and tell us a little bit about your background as you start?
Thank you very much, and thank you to the International Circle for inviting me for this interview. And I'm glad to share my journey, my experiences with you all, and hopefully this information is going to be helpful for other people. So I'm Dr. Adam Dasari. So I am born in India, in this region especially. This is the state of Andhra Pradesh, and I'm born some 10 kilometers from here, which is Kwanele is the name of the town where I was born, So I was born here. Most of my upbringing has happened here around the state. My schooling has happened around the state, various places. My father worked in the government for the state government, which means that he gets transferred from one location to another every 2 years. So every 2 years I will go to a different school. So I had my schooling in multiple towns, and then I did my bachelor's at a college called Loyola Institute, Andhra Loyola College. My bachelor's was in political science, history, and English literature. And I did my master's in sociology. Then we have something called MPhil, Masters of Philosophy. I did that in sociology again. And I did that in Hyderabad Central University, or University of Hyderabad. And then I went to US, United States of America, for my PhD. And I did my PhD at Oklahoma State University in America. And after my PhD, I got a job there at West Virginia University. And I was at that university. I taught at that university for about 13 years, actually. So after that, I came back to India, and that's my kind of academic journey. I came to India. Now I've started working here at Vignan, Vignan's Foundation for Science, Technology, and Research. And of course, I've taught you in one of the classes, right?
Exactly. That's it.
So you know me. But I'm glad that you guys are doing this international circle thing.
Thank you.
But that's my background.
Okay. Thank you very much for such a beautiful background. Can you move on? Like, what are the greatest experiences that you've ever faced to be who you are right now? So, what are the greatest experiences that you faced in your academic journey?
Greatest experiences, I think my entire schooling education is one thing until like +2, which is till the 12th grade. After that, I went to my bachelor's, political science, history, and English literature. And that's a different experience altogether. That's where I started, like, I'm learning things that are of interest to me. And that continued when I went to master's. and MPhil. And of course, going to USA was a completely game changer, actually, you know.
Oh,
So that's so those are some of the
yeah.
milestones, you know. So the way I went to bachelor's and master's, and then so it has enhanced my experience, educational experience, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really inspiring. So,
yeah.
Mr. Adam, like, what exactly, like, if you want students to know more about you besides in lecturers, what else would you like them to know about you?
Yeah, because yeah, in classes we all know we only talk about subject, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
But yeah, in the normal time, I like to do things that I like, you know. I
Okay,
like to watch tennis.
okay,
So whenever there's a game going on, I like to watch tennis. I like to watch movies or web series or things like that. Like to listen to music, try out new places,
okay.
you know, that kind of stuff. You know, that's what I do. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for that. So maybe let me take you to the classroom. So like I have a question. I want to know, like, you told us that you have 13 years experience of teaching. So like can you tell me the qualities or the behaviors that differentiate an average student and the exceptional student or the best student? What's your take on that, like your own point of view?
Yeah, yeah, I've seen students, I guess, both in USA and India now.
Yeah.
And even in India, I'm also, even in US, I've seen quite a few international students there.
Okay,
And I've
okay,
seen quite a few international students as well as local students.
okay.
But the thing that differentiates a good student and an average
Average student.
student, right?
Yeah.
So I think it is self-motivation.
Okay.
Like students who are self-motivated, you know, who are going to do things even when they're not asked to do them, you
Okay.
know. So they already know what they want to do, and they're motivated by themselves. They're not motivated by some assignment or some exam or anything,
Okay, okay.
but they go beyond what that is and they work for their own betterment, you know. So those are the best students, actually.
Okay, thank you
Yeah.
for that. And like another question for like what do you really think about the thing that may stop the student from achieving their greatness? What are the things that you may want to say to those students? Maybe they feel like at this point I have to give up. Like, what's your advice on that on those students? Maybe they will be failing in exams. So what's your advice on that?
Well, if any student is facing difficulty in academics,
Yeah.
I mean, introspection is a good way to go about it. Just think what is holding that person back. What is holding me back? You know, am I going through some difficulty in the classroom itself, or is it some external kind of circumstances? It could be some other personal situation, or there could be a lot of things that could be holding us back. You know, it's better to understand ourselves first, you know. So like sometimes the fault could be our own. We are having difficulty uh, managing our time, perhaps, you know, or we are finding the subject itself too difficult to understand sometimes.
Okay, okay,
But once we know that what it is, then we can actually work on it,
okay, okay,
right? So if it is time management, we can plan like how to manage my time better.
okay.
If the subject itself is difficult, then where else can I go other than the classroom to find some solutions to that? You know, are there any online lectures? Is there like information that is going to simplify this material for me? You know, so yeah, it's we need to kind of look into ourselves, figure out what is going wrong, and then we have to proceed from there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much for that, and that's really inspiring again.
Sure.
So, like I want to ask you, like, through your education, have you ever faced the challenges that maybe you wanted to change your perspective, or like the challenge that really maybe, have you ever if such situation, maybe I have to change my dreams, I have to change my goals, and have you ever faced those things like,
Yeah, I guess yeah, right before going to US, I think I have to change my whole game plan, actually. I mean, I don't actually, one of the things that I wanted to do from my childhood is I wanted to be in the government services, which in
Okay.
India is a very prestigious thing. There is this exam called UPSC, which will post you in the highest ranks of bureaucracy.
Okay.
And I wanted to be that.
Okay.
And I was about to start my preparation towards those exams.
Okay.
And that is when I had to make a life-changing decision. I got this opportunity to go to US and study, and so I had to keep that dream aside.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I went to US and I did my PhD, and that's like one of the best experiences actually, in terms of learning, in terms of personal growth and all that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's like one of the things that you were asking me about. A
Okay.
challenging situation. Yeah.
Okay. So like going to is like the change environment. So like changing the environment, if how does it change your character or the way of thinking? So going to is like does it change your character or your personal growth? Like for example, as Zimbabweans who come here to India, sometimes the things that we used to think about, yeah, it's really changes even our character and our.
Yeah, yeah.
So going to is, does it change your personal growth and your character?
Absolutely, it did. And yeah, that's one of the reasons I said it's kind of a life-altering experience. Because coming from India, growing up here, I do have a certain sense of behavior traits, personality traits, the rules, the social rules of how to engage with other people,
Okay.
the things that I've learned here. I had to adapt to the American context.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm sure you can relate to this
yeah. I
as
can
well.
relate.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can relate.
because the grammar, the rules and regulations that exist of how to interact with one another,
Yeah, yeah,
it's very different actually. So I had to recalibrate myself, readjust
yeah, yeah,
myself to
yeah.
the American setup. Yeah, there is. But what helped me is that I had great classmates
Okay, yeah, that's wonderful.
where I was studying, and I had great friends. I made good friends who were Americans, and they were just very nice to me, that it was very easy for me to actually adjust there.
Okay,
Yeah,
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 that's really
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
Okay, so Dr. Adam, like I want to give your own words on what do you define success to you? What does it mean? Success, first for me, someone once told me that success is just setting up your own goals and achieve them. So to you, what is success?
Yeah, that's a good definition, achieving your own goals. But I guess, as I was saying, my goals at one point of time were very
Yeah,
different.
yeah, yeah,
And that's the thing. I mean, our goals have to evolve as we are growing up. What is suitable for that moment in your life and all that. To me, success is something where I get to do things that are very meaningful for me.
yeah. Okay,
So, what gives meaning to my life? What gives me excitement
okay,
to get up in the morning and do something? So that is success. And everybody can define it very differently.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But to me, doing something meaningful, something that I love,
Okay.
where I feel like I'm doing something relevant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as we come to an end of our conversation, so like if you to design the education system of India, what are the things that you have to change or to add?
Education system of India.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I don't know how education system in Zimbabwe is. I'm pretty sure it's probably the same thing, because most
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the modern education systems in the last few decades, actually, they are running after the market trends.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So whatever is hot in the market, whatever is happening in the market, that is what is dictating the education in India and probably elsewhere too. And this is a very myopic way of looking at. Myopic is very short-sighted. We only see the things immediately, what is needed, right?
Okay, yeah.
So so we're planning, or we're designing curriculum, we're making the education system into something that is going to be beneficial immediately. But in doing so, we're failing to actually create a student into a good human being,
Okay.
a good technologist, a good innovator, good entrepreneur. So these are like the core foundational values that need to be built into the educational system. Not go after the latest
Okay.
fad and latest trend. So that's my opinion. So we need to bring back some of the old kind of values into education. So that's my suggestion for that.
Okay. That's powerful. That's powerful. So, like, again, what like the uh kind of future that you see for the current students for maybe for the next 20 years? The current student, like, you are always on social media playing games, and yeah, you are not really like innovative, creative, like, yeah. So, what kind of future would you think like for this?
Unfortunately, I cannot predict future, but
Yeah,
if I have to make a guess, I know a lot of students these days, they do spend a lot of time on their gadgets, on the phones, and all
yeah,
that, which in itself is not a bad thing because that has become part of our lives. But how
yeah.
do we use that is what makes the difference.
Okay.
If I'm using my phone and the apps on my phone for mind numbing entertainment, just scrolling through the reels or stories or something like
Yeah,
that, that's of no use. But there are quite a few apps that allows us to be creative, very dynamic and innovative and things like that. And the whole media that we have at our hands right now, it actually opens doors to new technologies,
yeah.
understanding new things that are happening. So if anybody is very proactive in that kind of a way, that's going to be amazingly useful.
Okay.
So kind of looking at future, I think with AI coming into the picture,
Yes.
I have to say that the future is going to be very easy,
Sure.
in the sense that there is very limited things that we get to do.
Yeah.
Most of the things are get done by the machines
Yeah,
for
exactly.
us. So we have to rethink about what our purpose is going to be in that new world. And I
Yeah.
hope the future students are going to figure that out.
Yeah.
So that's my expectation about the future. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so finally, like, what's the word of advice that you want to give to the students watching this and who also want to achieve greatness in life, to be PhD student graduates and to be a lecturer like you, to be a professor? So, like, what kind of advice would you give to such students?
Well, the advice, I don't know if there is an advice I can give to everybody because everybody has their own goals.
Yeah.
They have their own dreams, they have their own aspirations, and different people are traveling in different paths. But regardless of which way you take or which path you take, hard work is the bottom line. Hard work is the driving force. Unless you are proficient in whatever the discipline that you're in, whatever the line of work you're in, you can be in control of what you're doing. Somebody else will get to dictate what you do. So you have to achieve that kind of a status where you're indispensable. Like indispensable as in without you it cannot be done. You have to get to that stage.
Yeah, I like that.
So make and that's not an easy thing. You have to
Yeah.
put in a lot of hard work for that.
That's great.
Your basics foundations have to be extremely strong.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody kind of walks a very strong path that they have chosen,
Yeah.
walk a tough walk, and then you will achieve your dreams. I hope everybody gets to do that.
Thank you. Thank you, say, very much for that rounding conclusion. So, you guys, I hope you've learned so much. Hard work is the key. So, keep on working on your dreams, keep pushing, never give up. It was very nice to have you. Thank you so much.
Nice
And
chatting. Yeah.
until we meet again next time, thank you.
Thank you.